Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Sam will be back tomorrow. Today we're going to talk to John Seelmeyer, editor of Northern Nevada Business Weekly, about the top business stories and what lies ahead for Reno's economy. And then when you're in your car, did you know you're not supposed to hit that person in a crosswalk even if you do think they're a legislator? We'll talk to some people from Reno PD. And on the pundit panel today, we have Bob Crowell, John Gwaltney, and Bilyeu. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8, lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1, have some fun, lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp, have a sip, try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino, lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
It isn't easy to take a startup publication and make it successful, but John Seelmeyer, editor of the Northern Nevada Business Weekly, has done that, and he joins us today. John, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Great to be here on a nice, cool Monday.
Yes, right. It's supposed to warm up, I understand. Let me ask you, first of all, you've seen a lot of business stories since you've been here, and we're coming to the end of a year, and now it's that time when journalists always tend to look back a little bit and talk about what was the top stories. And clearly, I guess taxes at the legislature was the top business story.
There were really two business stories. One got a lot of coverage this year, and that was taxes. The story that I think was very uncovered, not covered enough in the state, was the strength of the economy. While there was all the debate going on in Carson City, the economy, particularly Northern Nevada, continued to produce jobs, develop new jobs. It was much stronger than the national economy. Those are things that are harder to get a handle on, but clearly in the longer-term picture, I think that the continued strength of the Nevada economy, particularly at a time when the national economy was weak at best, I think that's a pretty remarkable story.
But our tax revenues dropped, John, and people were being laid off, and of course casinos, we have some casinos closing, so it didn't appear that the economy was doing well in Northern Nevada.
Let me give you one number that I think really tells the story. In the 12 months through this September, in that 12-month period, the rate of job growth in Nevada was the highest of any state in the nation. And in fact, Nevada was one of a relatively small handful of states that was creating any new jobs at all. Compared to where we were, say, before September 11th, 2001, job growth of about 3% isn't huge. We were seeing numbers that were just astounding in the late 2000s. but Nevada continues, at least relative to the rest of the country, to be doing very well. Where does the tax situation then play into that? A couple of reasons. One, the development of Nevada, of the strength of northern Nevada's economy has been driven in large measure by the attractive tax climate here. Secondly, the debate over taxes, more than the result, but the debate raised some questions in the minds of folks looking to move companies here about the future of the economy in Nevada. And what business people want is confidence that they can make a decision without having the rug pulled out from under them, and that tax debate this spring injected a little bit of uncertainty into
Well, they
things.
weren't sure how much they were going to be paying.
Absolutely.
I mean, how can you budget when you don't know what the figures are going to be?
That, and there was some sense of people in business have had a trust that they could have a tax environment in Nevada that would be favorable to them. And that debate this spring sort of rattled that trust a little bit. It's interesting to me, though, how quickly, once the legislature was done, how quickly we got back to business as usual. The tax debate, except for what they call the chattering classes in England, that tax debate fell out of the consciousness of most business people pretty quickly, and we were back to doing business in northern Nevada. Now we have year and a half until we come back to that again.
Well, I don't think it's quite that long, unfortunately. I think we're looking at just about a year. And obviously the tax debate will continue because in January they start paying them and then they'll know what the bottom line is. So, and some of these new jobs, John, I know that when people become unemployed, they go into the consulting business, and that looks like it's a created job. How much of those new jobs are people just who've been laid off and are starting their own consulting business, do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to get a handle on where that kind of new job is. We continue to see a lot of diversification of the economy in northern Nevada. Gaming is very high profile, but gaming accounts for less and less of the economy on a percentage, in percentage terms. In fact, I think the problems of gaming, very real, but are probably over-reported. They're too high in our consciousness right now. If
where other businesses that are succeeding are being ignored?
Yeah, over the last 10 years, the diversification of the northern Nevada economy is just, is really an astounding story. I was sitting in the Chamber of Commerce office in Reno a few weeks back, looking out toward the south, and as far as the eye can see, there's this diverse economy that is not gaming at all. So gaming remains important. But it's not as important as it once was. So
bottom line is things are looking good for Reno economically.
Yes, we're looking for a very good year. We've had a good year without a national recovery, and now the national economy is starting to perk up, and heaven only knows what 2004 might look like.
Great. John, thank you so much for being with us. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Seekh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
I know this is a political show, but hey, some of those people getting knocked off in crosswalks are voters. We can't have that. Today we talked to Detective Stephen Keller from Reno PD in the Traffic Division, and Kathy Burning from the City of Reno. Which department is it?
City Attorney's Office.
City Attorney's Office. You prosecute, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we got to get this all straight. Detective Keller, let me start with you. I'm driving along at the speed limit, of course, and somebody steps in the crosswalk to my left and I'm on the right-hand side. How fast do I have to stop? I mean, they're across the street there. How fast do I have to stop?
If they're close enough to become a danger to you, of you possibly hitting them, you have to stop before you hit them.
Okay.
If they're over on the crosswalk and you can go by without being a danger to them, then you can keep on going.
Okay. Now, let's say that I'm going the speed limit and somebody steps into the crosswalk sort of right in front of my car. Do I slam on the brakes then at that point, or do I swerve, or what do I do?
You do whatever you can to not hurt yourself or hurt that pedestrian, but it's a pedestrian's responsibility at this point not to step out in front of a car.
Ah, so they do have some responsibilities too. That
they have a
need
lot
to
of
be aware
responsibility. They may be right, but you've heard that they could be dead right too.
Oh, okay.
They have to watch what these other cars are doing. You got a 4,000-pound piece of machine coming down the road at you. You're not going to step out in front of it just because you're right.
Right. So the idea, though, is that you stop before you hit somebody, even if the car behind you is going to hit you.
Yes, you don't want to hit that pedestrian. They're just out there with they're nothing to protect them. And if they're close enough to be a danger, you're required by law to stop.
All right, Kathy, what's the most egregious, the worst case you've seen of pedestrians?
The worst case that I've seen involved a pedestrian death, we had Mr. Zook and his wife, Mrs. Zook, who were crossing crosswalk across at the pepper mill. He was walking a little faster than she was, and he had been a survivor of World War II and had gone through numerous battles only to be killed in a crosswalk in Reno. Because of the law, that case was handled as a misdemeanor violation of failure to yield to a pedestrian in a crosswalk, which we actually went to trial and got a conviction. But I'll tell you that the problems with that is that it's a Mr. Zook is no longer alive. His impact is his family forever, and he was in the crosswalk when it happened.
All right, what can we do to prevent more of this from happening?
The most important thing is the pedestrians and drivers have to take responsibility on themselves. Pedestrians, you got to make eye contact with that driver that's coming towards you. If you know that he sees you, then you do what you have to do to get across that street. Drivers have to pay attention, to what's happening around them. We've had 15 fatals this year in the city of Reno so far this year. 8 of them have been pedestrians. And of those 8, 6 of them were pedestrian fault.
Okay, now I know one of the problems that I have as a driver is if there's a big truck on my left, I can't see if somebody's coming across a crosswalk and that truck is still going. I'm going to keep going. I can't see if there's somebody coming from the left with the truck blocking my view that way.
So why take the chance?
So I should just stop at every crosswalk?
No, if you got a big truck there and he's still rolling, you're going to go along the same speed he is.
Right.
I wouldn't pass that truck.
Okay.
How do you know if someone's not running right in front of them? There's so many. You got to take the responsibility. You're driving a vehicle. You got to take the responsibility for driving that car.
Okay. Now, see, now that's a good hint. Okay, that it hasn't been out there, because I know that is a problem for many drivers, is the trucks blocking their view.
I've been doing this for 29 years, and the biggest thing is the responsibility of the drivers in that motor vehicle. But the pedestrians, they got to start taking some responsibility. They may have the crosswalk, they may have the light and everything else, and they see cars coming. Make eye contact with those drivers. Know that they see you.
All right, now what about jaywalk? Do you ticket jaywalkers?
Yes, we do. And most accidents we investigate, it's A misdemeanor has to be in our presence, except for accidents, motor vehicle traffic accidents. If during our investigation we find out that the pedestrian was wrong or made an error, then we will cite the pedestrian if they're still alive.
Do we need to make it a higher penalty for jaywalking?
I don't think so. If they're crumpled underneath a car with broken bones and then they get their $115 ticket, it's kind of lesser of two consequences here.
We're at Christmas shopping now. People are walking like crazy, not paying attention to where they're going. What's your best advice to everybody?
Watch what's coming at you. If you see a motor vehicle coming down the roadway, make eye contact with that driver. Make sure he sees you, and don't put your life or your body at stake in front of that car. You're going to lose.
And if you do hit someone, listen, she's going to prosecute you. She doesn't care if it is an accident, right, Kathy?
That's absolutely right.
Okay. We'll be right back with our pundit panel in just a minute.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Again, Sam will be back tomorrow. We have with us today John Gwaltney,
hello,
Bilyeu, and Bob Crowell.
Good morning.
All right, I want to start out with the coach from UNR that just got fired. And briefly, we don't usually talk sports here, but we're talking 135,000 taxpayer dollars this person is being given to leave because there was a year left on his contract. What is going on here? Why do we have so much taxpayer dollars that we can just afford to just throw it around like this? Guys, jump in and explain me to it.
Well, first of all, I want to jump on this because I think I'm in the minority here in the sense that I believe it's important to win. And I think UNR got to a point of saying we don't think we're making progress that direction. I'm not necessarily defending the use of $130,000 to to satisfy that issue, but I am saying that college sports have long ago ceased to be amateur sports. They are professionals, and you're paid to win, and that didn't happen.
Is this true?
It's true. I mean, I'm a UNR alumni, and I would like to see a winning football team as well. The Coach Tormey did not produce. As John says, that's still not a winning season, and it's big business now. Football, as I understand it, pays for itself pretty much, and the parking also helps pay. It's big business.
You know, I like to see football games too, but I got to tell you, maybe I'm just old school, but I still believe that sports should be there for character building and for building healthy bodies and minds. And I don't think that the winning and losing issue is such a big deal to me. And so maybe I'm in the minority here, but I don't think it's important to win or lose. I think it's more important to have a good, solid program where you teach athletes you know, if you're going to treat it as a business, that's one thing, but I think it's more important to treat, you know, to have a program where you teach character and you build healthy bodies and minds.
And I agree with that as well, except the reality is that within collegiate sports these days, there is that reality that whether we like it or not, and I don't particularly, it is big business.
Yeah, yeah. We just added to the stadium. They spent a substantial amount of money. We upscaled.
Where did that money come from?
Well, I think most of that came from bonding and some other sources. I think football itself pays for that. Football and basketball at UNR pay for an awful lot of other sports. Most of the other lesser, I hate to use the term lesser sports because they're not, but a lot of people.
Such as golf?
well, you know, I think baseball comes close, but cross country doesn't, volleyball doesn't. You know, I can provide a rather healthy list that live off of the revenues of football and basketball. And without those winning, it's going to be very difficult to maintain.
I took, you know, you talk about lesser sports, just as an aside, not football, and for me in college it was fencing.
Oh, well, John, I would hope that you wouldn't consider women's sports as lesser sports.
Well, I don't necessarily consider them. No, I don't consider them a lesser sport. I'm talking about revenue here.
Well, yeah. One of the things that might be a more interesting question. I mean, you're a little upset about they're paying off the coach's contract as a year ago. Is go to the university system as a whole, statewide, and ask the university system to tell us how much money they are spending on contracts of various teachers and people like that who have been terminated earlier because of lawsuits or that reason. What's the total dollar figure on that for the last, say, 5 years?
Good question, and that's a natural segue into our next topic, which is the Board of Regents. The Board of Regents last week met. They disclosed next to nothing, and subsequent to their finding and attempting to fire Ron Remington and John Cummings, we know there's going to be lawsuits, but we also know that the faculty at down at Southern Nevada Community College, and I believe in Elko also, has come to the support of Dr. Remington. Bill, can you fill us in a little bit on that?
Yeah. There is basically, what, in my view anyway, there is a travesty of justice being perpetrated by certain members of the Board of Regents together with other people against President Remington, a very popular president, and John Cummings, his advisor. And it totally lacked a due process, smacked of a star chamber, if you will. There was a 1,000-page, they were never provided with a list of what it is they supposedly did. There was a 1,000-page.
They were fired without being told why.
Without an opportunity to face their accusers.
They couldn't even defend themselves.
They could not defend themselves. And Ron Remington is highly regarded, was highly regarded. Elko is highly regarded in the Southern Nevada community. His evaluation that is being done by an evaluation committee, as I understand, I hear, is an outstanding evaluation. I mean, that is a 30,000 plus.
Go ahead, Bob.
You know, there is something that's going on, and I think Bill, you said it while just before we got on camera here, and that is when you've got all three of the newspapers in Southern Nevada who are aligned and saying the Regents have done something wrong, there is something wrong in River City down there.
Because one's very conservative, another's very liberal, and they never see eye to eye.
They don't even agree on whether or not it's Thursday. But for the first time in my memory in this state, they all agree. And, you know, it's terrible mess. But it is only some of the Regents who are involved, not others.
Well, and let's add to this. I mean, Ron is a well-respected person. I think I know him as well as anyone probably in Northern Nevada. I think the sadness here that creeps into this discussion is, where do we go from here? I mean, we're in an event that, should he go back to work, is it possible to work with the Board of Regents in this combination in some way? And that's very difficult for me to envision. If he doesn't go back to work, you have a 35-year employee in the state of Nevada who has lost his career at the very last moment, because he and I are almost exactly the same age, and I understand it.
His way to help the state is to shed interest on shed light on the public interest, and that is to bring to heart what is going on down there and to fix this institutional problem.
But it isn't just down there; it's the entire state that it affects.
Well, let me add one more, and John, if I can. You're saying, well, how can Ron work with the Board of Regents? Well, if the Board of Regents does reverse itself, then fine. I think Ron will have a majority working relationship. But the other question is, more importantly, is if those members of the Board of Regents who perpetrated this thing are permitted to get away with it, how can the other presidents or staff or faculty without the whole system work with those people?
How can they trust the chancellor? How can they trust the chancellor when she did not support one of their own?
Let me say this. I understand that you're looking at the bigger issue in this case, and I pride myself often in doing that. But as Ron is a personal friend, please don't make him a battering ram to try to fix a statewide problem. He is a human being that's going through a very difficult time, and I think some of the regents are going through a rather difficult time right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
Oh, yeah, they are.
We're getting low on time, but what impetus does this give? Just a real quick answer, yes or no. Chris G's bill to have the regents appointed, will it fly next time?
It's a good possibility, a very strong possibility.
I agree, it's a strong possibility.
I don't think so.
Okay, you heard it here. We'll be right back.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Be with us tomorrow when Sam and I have an in-depth discussion with Lynn Hetrick. Will the Republicans take over the Assembly next time? And reruns of the show can be seen on Charter Cable 12 in Reno, Carson, and 19 in Douglas County. Thank you for watching.